Hey guys, welcome back to the Guitar Max channel. So I am doing a video today that I've been talking about doing for at least a year, and I apologize for not doing this sooner, but this is going to be really cool. I am finally down here in La Cañada, Flint Ridge, California, to give you guys the tour of the All-in-One Guitars shop, which is right here, conveniently located between the Taekwondo studio and the Korean barbecue place. This is going to be a lot of fun. Jin, the owner, is in here, and we're going to talk to him, talk a little bit about the history of the company, check out what the inside of the shop is, the work they're doing in there. This is going to be really, really cool. So guys, I hope you enjoy videos like this. If you do, be sure to subscribe. Let's go ahead and go in here and check it out. All right, here we go. Hey! Good to see you. Okay.
What are you doing?
All right, so when you walk into the shop here, there's a lot going on. The walls are covered in guitars. A lot of these guitars are the AIO guitars, obviously, that the shop is really known for. And if you look around on the floor here, all of these boxes that are open are guitars for customers that they're doing setups on and that they're working on and getting them ready to ship out. Now they also have some other stuff, some acoustic guitars and a few other brands there that they have at the shop. Looks like you're pretty busy. So it was kind of funny. Right when I walked in, Jin, the owner there, he was working on a guitar and he said hello to me and then he went right back to work. And what he's doing right here with this blue Relic model is he's testing the guitar, just doing the initial test on the guitar before they do the setup to see what needs to be done with it. All of these guitars here are ones that are in the process of being prepared for customers. After that was done, Jen took a little break and he sat down with me and told me about the history of AIO and how it all got started. Okay, well, Jin, thanks again for letting everybody see the shop, this kind of thing.
Thanks for visiting our shop.
Of course, yeah. A lot of people curious about everything here. Tell us a little bit about the history of your history and the history of the guitar business, all-in-one guitars.
I mean, I'm not a businessman, as you see. I'm a musician playing guitar and bass like over 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to play guitar, and I'm already looking for like really playable guitar without any playing issue.
Yeah.
So I found out one guitar company,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty good construction. And when I set up that guitar and do all our job here, I found out that's really playable on the price range. So
Mm-hmm.
I started the guitar at a local shop, repair shop, and some like Taylor or Fender, the kind of dealer,
Yeah.
Takamine. And I found out some issue from the guitar. So as a musician, I'm conscious, so I cannot do the guitar to customer.
Mm-hmm.
So always we set up, even though there's like really expensive Fender, like American made guitar, whatever. So we gotta do some job on each guitar. I really care about the musicians, our customer. So
Mm-hmm.
I cannot like give them just guitar from the factory,
Right.
not playability. Playability is really bad.
Working with the manufacturer, the factory, you bring the guitars in, you do all of the setup yourself.
Yeah.
This kind of gives you more control
Yeah.
for what the customer receives in the end, rather than one of the big companies like Fender or something like that, where you can't really control what they're doing.
Yeah, as a customer already know, nowadays most of guitar in USA imported from many other countries, like
Sure,
China,
yeah.
Indonesia, Vietnam, Korea. Used to be Japan and Korea, but not anymore.
Yeah.
So it's kind of expensive. So really high-end guitar, made in USA. And the final quality is decided from the quality control center here.
Right.
So how good luthiers are here, they kind of decide the quality of guitar here. That's what I believe and I know.
So I asked Jen to take me through their process of how they prepare these guitars when they send them out. And the first step when they get these guitars, because they get these guitars delivered from the factory, then they take them all out of the boxes, and the first step is to just go through and identify what kinds of work needs to be done to the guitar before it gets sent out to the customer. And he's explaining there the reason they use the capo down on the first fret is that later on in the setup process, they are going to adjust the nut. But until they adjust the nut, and in particular, the string height at the nut is going to be lower, until they've done that, they use the capo to sort of simulate that the strings at the nut are going to be lower.
Yeah, I mean, if I lower the election like just one turn, you don't experience that problem.
Right.
When you lower the action, it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
And here, see, so we find out all the problem here. Here also, a little bit, not that much. So, good ear and good technique. So, I mean, this is natural to us and to me. So, I checked the problem is, and I passed to this guy here.
So there, he has identified the different problem areas with the frets, and then he brings it over to this other guy here. He's going to do the actual work of bringing the frets down and fixing some of the issues.
Great guy for doing that job.
He must have learned from you. Huh?
Yeah. I taught him, and now I believe he's better than me.
Now this exact guitar right here. So you're doing the setup now, so someone has already bought this one. Yeah. Okay, so someone ordered this and now you're getting it ready. Okay.
Now something you might notice here, and you'll see more of this later in the video, is that a lot of the fretwork, most of the fretwork they do on the guitars, they do it with the strings still on the guitar. This is because when you have the strings off the guitar, it changes the tension on the neck. And again, that can sometimes hide problems with the frets. Now here's another thing they do, and again, this is where they are adjusting the frets on the entire fretboard with the strings on the guitar. Now he was explaining to me that not every guitar needs this, but it just has to do with the shape of the neck. Sometimes there are guitars where the neck shape is such where you have to level all of the frets evenly on the fretboard. Now, either way, after the individual frets have been adjusted, he goes through the crowning process. Now, I mentioned earlier about how they're going to adjust the nut height, and after they do the work on the frets, the fret leveling and fret dressing and so forth, then they bring it to another guy who's there at the shop, and he does the work on the nut, kind of reshaping it and then cutting the nut slots. And this, of course, allows the guitar just overall to have much lower and more precise action.
The nut, the balance, which is string height between the gap of the string and the fret. I check every single string. Check and file it, and check and filing.
Now, you see the amount of work that's going into this here, and I think it's a good time to mention they're not just doing this work because there was something wrong with the guitar. The key is that they do this kind of work on every single guitar that they sell.
And number two, it's kind of really custom shop guitar.
This process here, though, is still not the final step. After they adjust the nut, then it goes back over and he does the fret ends on the fretboard. Then the guitar is cleaned up and tested again. Obviously, it's a lot of work that goes into this stuff, and that kind of connects to what Jen was saying about why they don't really do sales at their shop.
Yeah, the reason why we don't sell our guitar, because of time, we gotta spend time on each guitar. So there are no quantities like discount. Because for us it's same.
Right.
And shipping thing, same thing. We put some customer buy 2 guitar, we got 2 packages, individual packages. So
Okay.
there is no like advantage for us to sell the multiple guitar at the same time.
Okay. So if you had a big sale, you would sell a bunch of guitars at once, but you still have to do. It still takes all the time to do the setup and all this stuff, so you get backed up with the schedule, right?
Yeah, we don't have time. So
Yeah.
we gotta hire more
Right.
like luthier, but I'm super picky guy.
Right.
So my luthier get fired
Right.
because of their lazy, not doing great job. So our luthiers is super high qualified luthier.
One of the things you're talking about, it sounds like there's a lot of steps where you do some work and then you stop and do an inspection.
Yeah.
And then you do more work and then you do another inspection, right? So throughout the process, it's lots of stopping and checking, right, to make sure the guitar comes out well.
Yeah, one guy to do everything together, but I know we are human beings, so we already make a mistake.
Sure.
So doing that procedure, we can find the problem
Right.
more efficiently.
Yeah. They even keep the humidity there in the shop at a certain range, and they can adjust it with the air conditioning and humidifiers that they have
we have
there.
a humidifier here and there many. So I
Okay.
turn on that. Very nice now.
The guitars are not manufactured there, but they are shipped in. They're all brought into the shop there, and then everything else is done right there at the shop. All of the testing, the QC, all of the setup, and then eventually the guitars are shipped out there from the shop to the customer. I remember a while back you were telling me that you didn't want the company to get too big,
Oh yeah.
right? To where maybe it gets so big that you can't give the personal attention, you know, to the instruments
Yeah,
like you do
yeah.
now.
I mean, I have many contacts from all different states and countries, even Europe, UK or like German. So they want to be our dealer, but I say no. Region, I don't want to brag our like steps here, but we really spend time on our each guitar.
Yeah.
So I don't believe they're gonna do the same job here. So if I expand the brand,
Yeah.
I might get little more money, maybe not, but I'm sure that way we could just downgrade our quality here.
Right, right. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that shop tour and talking to Jen in there and seeing how the guys do the work in there. Honestly, the big thing that really jumped out to me is the level of personal attention that goes into each guitar. And of course, I've been to the shop here before, and I knew that they did these really involved setups and so forth, but I honestly didn't really realize the amount of time that they put into each guitar. And that's, I think, really the amazing thing that you get from these guys is that level of, like I said, personal attention that goes into each guitar. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Of course, if you did, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, all that good stuff. And if there's anything I missed, you know, any questions that I didn't ask or things you want me to talk about, just put that down in the comments section below and I'll talk to them and try and get that stuff answered. All right, guys. Thanks a ton for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.